Control never begins with force. It begins with the body. In the modern world, power doesn't march in with armies or speeches. Real power moves quietly through systems, institutions, and the everyday choices people never question. And the first battlefield of this silent war is the human body. For decades, health has been shaped not only by science, but by influence. Influence from corporations, governments, and networks of power operating far beyond public view. Food systems, medical standards, pharmaceutical decisions, even the fears that guide our behavior. All of them can be engineered, adjusted, or weaponized. When people hear the phrase, "Your health is being used against you," they imagine conspiracy. But history tells a different story, a documented one. Across the last century, vulnerable populations were used in experiments. Standards were rewritten, regulations shaped by those who profited from them. And slowly, a pattern emerged. Control the body, and you control the person. But today, the battlefield has evolved. Health is no longer just biology, it's data. Sensors, devices, and systems that track, measure, and predict human behavior with unsettling precision. This is the beginning of what some call the Internet of Bodies, a world where the human body becomes a node in a digital network, where signals can be monitored, where data can be harvested, and where the line between health technology and behavioral control grows dangerously thin. Because once the body is mapped, the mind becomes the next frontier. And no platform in history has shaped the human mind more effectively than the one that began in a Harvard dorm room, turning behavior into data, attention into currency, and influence into infrastructure. But before we go there, you must understand one thing. Control always scales. It starts with the body. It expands into the mind. And eventually, it reaches the world's financial systems. This is how control moves, from biology to technology to information, and finally, to global power. And it all begins here. When the body becomes data, control becomes invisible. The moment technology entered the human body, everything changed. What began as simple health tracking, heart rate monitors, sleep apps, step counters, slowly evolved into something far more powerful, a system capable of mapping the rhythms, reactions, and vulnerabilities of the human being. This is the foundation of what many now call the Internet of Bodies, a network where biological signals are collected, stored, and analyzed at a scale humanity has never seen before. At first it sounded harmless, helpful even. Devices that warn you of health risks, implants that regulate your heartbeat, wearables that track your stress levels. But behind every device, there is a database. Behind every database, there is an owner. And behind every owner, there is an agenda. Because once your body becomes a source of data, the question is no longer, how healthy are you? The real question becomes, who controls the information your body produces? And that question is far more dangerous than it seems. Biometric data can reveal your emotions, your fears, your habits, your weaknesses. It can predict your decisions before you make them. It can shape your behavior without you ever noticing. This is not science fiction. This is the architecture of modern technocracy, a system where technology doesn't just assist human life, it governs it. And once the body is mapped, the next step becomes inevitable: mapping the mind. No company in history has done this more effectively than Facebook. What started as a simple social network became the largest behavioral laboratory ever created, a platform capable of influencing emotions, shaping opinions, and engineering social dynamics on a global scale. Every like, every scroll, every pause, every flicker of curiosity, anger, or fear was recorded, analyzed, and fed into algorithms designed to understand you better than you understand yourself. This wasn't just data collection, it was behavioral prediction. And once you can predict behavior, you can influence it. Facebook didn't just connect people, it rewired society. It changed how humans communicate, argue, fall in love, form beliefs, and perceive reality. And behind this transformation stood a small group of people who understood one truth better than anyone else. Information is power. And controlling information means controlling the world. But even information has limits. To shape the world at the highest level, you need something older, deeper, and far more influential than technology. You need control over the global flow of money. And that is where the story leads next. Information shapes people. Money shapes the world. Once you understand how the body can be monitored and how the mind can be influenced, there is only one layer of control left, the layer that decides the fate of nations, markets, and entire populations. Money. Because while technology can shape behavior and information can shape beliefs, only financial power can shape the world itself. And no institution represents this power more clearly than Goldman Sachs. For more than 150 years, Goldman has operated at the intersection of money and influence, a place where decisions are made quietly, far from public view, yet felt everywhere. This is not just a bank. It is a network, a pipeline connecting Wall Street to governments, corporations, and global markets. When a country faces a financial crisis, Goldman is there. When a corporation goes public, Goldman is there. When political leaders rise to power, many come from, or return to, the same financial ecosystem. This revolving door between finance and government is not accidental. It is structural. It ensures that the people who understand the system also shape it, and the people who shape it rarely lose. Goldman Sachs has been present during the most significant financial events of the modern era, from market crashes to global bailouts, not as a spectator, as an architect, a participant, a beneficiary. And this is where the story connects back to everything we've explored so far. Because control is never isolated. It is layered. Control the body, you shape vulnerability. Control the mind, you shape perception. Control information leads to you shape behavior. Control money leads to you shape the future. This is the architecture of modern power, a structure so vast, so interconnected, that it no longer needs to hide. It simply needs to function. And it does, every day, every hour, in every decision people make without realizing why they made it. Modern control doesn't march in uniform. It doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't need to. It is quiet, designed, built into the structures we depend on. Our food, our medicine, our devices, our platforms, our banks. It doesn't force obedience. It designs it. And that is what makes it so effective. Because when a system becomes part of everyday life, people stop questioning it. They stop noticing it. They move inside it as if it were natural, as if it had always been there. But nothing about these systems is accidental. The way health is managed, the way technology tracks the body, the way information shapes the mind, the way financial power shapes the world. These are not separate stories. They are chapters of the same book, a book written by institutions that understand one truth better than anyone else. If you control the inputs, you control the outcomes. But here is the part the system never expects: awareness. Because the moment you see the structure, the moment you recognize the pattern, the illusion breaks. Control loses its subtlety. Influence loses its invisibility, and the world begins to look different. Not safer, not simpler, but clearer. And clarity is the first step toward freedom. Power doesn't fear resistance. It fears awareness. And awareness begins here. You be the judge. If you're awake, then the message is already clear. Support the movement. Show where you stand. Some choices echo long after the moment has passed.